Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Hi, Tam here. Miss World. So Miss World, look, this is not a take on the beautiful women who participate in Miss World, you know. I understand why they participate, why all the candidates are hoping to win, because obviously, you know, Miss World is a lot of money. And with the title comes glory, fame, monetization, financial emancipations, you're going to be well off, and you can market yourself for years to come. A lot of good things will happen to you with Miss World as a young woman, So I understand why they're doing it. Just to be Miss of your country, right? You're getting a fantastic exposure, media exposure, and that will improve your life, that will change your life. So yeah, no problem with that, You have the beauty, you are confident, you think you can win, go for it and change your life. But my take is on the concept of Miss World. More on the organizers, you could say, I've always felt, and I still feel, that Miss World is one of the most pathetic shows on earth. And I know you're gonna cut me off right there and say, come on man, there's a lot of pathetic shows on earth, man. All these reality shows, and there's a lot of rubbish on TV, and that's true, right? But the difference with Miss World is that not only it's pathetic, but it's also pathetically pretentious. The show takes itself so seriously. Let me explain. Miss World, I might have watched it when I was a teenager at home, My parents maybe would be watching the show. And, I don't know, maybe I watched it with my parents. And not being very interested in it, but perhaps just because I was in the living room with them and the TV was on and they were watching it, and maybe it's a family gathering and everybody's enjoying it, enjoying a good night, and yeah, I'll be watching, but I've never been interested in it. And I might have watched it in these conditions, maybe once or twice. But even as a kid, it meant nothing to me. Even as a 10-year-old, right, I would ask my parents, like, also, this is Miss World? Yeah. You mean this person is Miss World, the most beautiful woman in the world? Well, I mean, she's Miss World. You mean of all the people on planet Earth, of all the women on this planet, she is the most beautiful woman on the planet? Well, I mean, you see, that's the problem. We're talking here about something that cannot be quantified, right? We're talking about beauty, the most beautiful, right? You can quantify speed. You can have a competition for speed. Who is the fastest man in the world today? You put the best of the best, they run in competition, the fastest time is the fastest person. What's the fastest car in the world today? The fastest commercial car. Again, you can measure that, 0 to 100 in, I don't know, 2-point-something seconds, whatever it is. You can quantify it. Who is the tallest man on earth? You can measure that. But beauty, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, come on. You cannot measure beauty. You cannot put some women on stage and say that, my show is going to produce Miss World, the most beautiful woman in the world. That's crazy. That's pathetic. That's pretentious. Right? Like I said, I understand why women do that, because the financial incentives, and the market value of it for you, the candidate. Like I explained before. I mean, I completely understand that, and more power to you if you can empower yourself. Emancipate yourself financially and take care of your family and push your career forward. That's great. But the concept is wrong. I doubt that Miss World today looks at herself in the mirror and thinks, I am the most beautiful woman in the world. I don't think she thinks like that. Or maybe she does, I don't know. But I mean, you see my point, right? When it comes to the world, to planet Earth, I mean, we have to acknowledge that we have many countries, many races, many ethnicities. And generally speaking, people are, people will always find that other people who are similar to themselves are more attractive. I mean, generally speaking, it's a general statement, and the thing is, if you go to Vietnam and they vote for Miss Vietnam, already I'm sure that there will be some disagreement as to the woman who's going to be voted Miss Vietnam. Some will say, yeah, it shouldn't have been her, it should have been this one, but But anyway, when you take Miss Vietnam in, say, Iceland, and you present Miss Vietnam as Miss World to the average Joe in Iceland, probably they will say, yeah, well, Miss Iceland was better. I mean, this girl's cute, but come on. She's nowhere near Miss Iceland. She shouldn't have won. And that's normal because, as an Icelander, obviously, you will be more attracted to Miss Iceland because she looks like something you know. And vice versa, if you take Miss Iceland to Vietnam and you tell the Vietnamese, the average Vietnamese people on the street, and you say, well, Miss Iceland is Miss World, there she is. They will say, please, man, that's a ripoff. I mean, yeah, she's cute, but come on, man, she's nowhere near Miss Vietnam. I mean, come on, man, because, they will not be attracted to the features of Miss Iceland. Vietnamese people will prefer Miss Vietnam because they can identify to that and they can see certain traits of beauty that, are regarded perhaps as most attractive in Vietnam. And if you take both of them and you present them in, say, Nigeria, and you tell the average person in Nigeria, in the streets of Lagos that, okay, yeah, your Miss Nigeria was great, but, Miss Iceland and Miss Vietnamese, and Miss Vietnam, sorry, these are the winner and runner-up. They will look at you and say, come on, that's ridiculous. Come on. Miss Nigeria was way better than that. And you take Miss Nigeria and you take her to Iceland or Vietnam, same reaction. They'll say, come on, no way, Miss Iceland, Miss Vietnam, come on. So my point is, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? And generally speaking, people will always prefer people from their own country. I'm talking about Miss World, right? And that's evident when a winner is announced. So if you say Miss India is Miss World, there's a sense of pride in India. People are happy and yeah, we won. We've got the most beautiful woman in the world. She comes from India. And if you talk about Miss Philippine is Miss World, there's a sense of pride in the Philippine. Yeah, not really, you know, we won, you know, the Philippine, we have the most beautiful women in the world, right? And the same for Miss Nigeria or Miss China or Miss whatever, right? People watch it more for the sense of patriotism, I think. You know, they get excited when they see their fellow countrywomen reaching maybe the top 10 and maybe winning the competition, you know. But even then, I don't think they would say that, okay, I'm glad she won, but is she really the most beautiful woman in the country? I mean, you see, so yeah, I mean, to cut a long story short, I think Miss World basically, you know, it's a shame in that we still have beauty pageant shows. You know, I don't see the point, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So this is one of the reasons why it's so pretentious and pathetic, right? But another reason as well is that these women, man, I mean, they have makeup on, their hair is beautiful. You don't even see the true beauty. You don't even see the true face. There's layers and layers of foundations and makeup and stuff, you know? So makeup itself can change the way you look quite a bit. So depending on who is your makeup artist, it could be a make or break situation. So the show is in a way dishonest in the first place. and then you have the physical beauty, right? You have some people, there have been some people in the past. I was on the internet just now, you know, looking at past Miss World events, just for the sake of this video. And some people have been disqualified in the past, not necessarily Miss World, but, you know, Miss Universe or Miss Country A, B, or C, you know. Some candidates, some winners have been disqualified from beauty pageants at national level or international levels, you know. And in the case of Miss World, I think in the past, there was one that was caught having done some nude spread, you know, a photo shoot, you know, and she was disqualified. Well, again, it's very pretentious for you to be a beauty pageant, Miss World, you know. A show that is solely about physical beauty. I mean, it's not about inner beauty. Come on, it's about physical beauty. And then you disqualify a candidate or a winner or a runner-up, you know, because that young woman did some nude photos in the past. So what? She did some nude photos because she thinks that she's got the kind of body that will attract revenue if she exposes herself to photography. That's also the reason why she's entering Miss World. That's why she's going to be prancing around in a bikini, and that's why she's going to win, because of the physical beauty, you know. So for you, Miss World organization, to disqualify somebody because they've done some nude photos, you know, or they've posed for Playboy, or they've done a porn shoot. So what? I mean, this is all about consumption of the flesh, Miss World, right? You look at the woman, you vote for her because she's beautiful. Not because she's humble, not because she's got fantastic, you know, manual skills, or because she's got some kind of brain power that you've never seen before. No, you're voting for her because of her physical appearance, purely because of that. And now, you know, you are being a hypocrite, you the organizers, by saying that, no, this one is disqualified because she did some news spread for such and such a magazine, or because she was caught into some porn videos that you've seen. It's exactly the same consumption of the flesh. So you being pretentious and you being hypocritical. And that's why Miss World, I think it's just, these things should just be scraped off, man. It's just a joke, to be honest. Yes, of course, they're always going to say that, no, it's not just about the beauty, it's also about brain. It's brain and beauty, about intelligence. And that's why at the end of the show, towards the end of the show, there will be some few questions, to just see how you're thinking. And that's another point as well. The questions are ridiculous. I mean, come on, you've already selected these 3 or 5 or 10 young women as to be in the grand finale, right? So now you're saying that you're going to separate them based on their brain, based on their thinking and stuff. Again, hypocritical, pretentious. So you're going to ask some ridiculous questions that could be answered in 1,000 different ways. And from what I've seen on YouTube, I was looking at some past events, right? And the one was asked about, what was the question? Some judge was asking about, how would you bridge the gap between the rich and the poor? You know what? If I'm standing on stage and there's hundreds of people there, and I'm nervous as hell because I know I'm so close to become Miss World and have all that glory and change my life, and you're going to ask me, how would you bridge the gap between the rich and the poor? I'm going to be very, very nervous. First of all, I have to think about my answer. It's something that you discuss, at a round table, and you have a frank discussion about that. It's an economic question, right? But it's also a geopolitical question. It's a multi-layered question, and it's unfair to ask somebody at that time of their lives, at that moment, how do you bridge the gap between the rich and the poor? So that woman was very nervous, and then she mumbled something, and people clapped, like, yeah, well done. But another question I saw was, do you think political correctness is helping this country, or good to the world, or good for the world, or something like that? Again, dude, I mean, why are you asking me a question like that at that point? A better question would be a very simple question. Hi, why do you want to be Miss World? It's a simple question, but then again, do you tell the truth and then risk everything? Because normally, if you're honest with yourself and you're asking that question, why do you want to be Miss World? Well, I want to be Miss World because I truly believe and I hope that Miss World will change my life, afford me a brighter career, a brighter future, get me a lot of money and lead me to financial emancipation so I can take care of my family and my loved ones. And yeah, I hope to expose myself to the media world, under the umbrella of Miss World. Now that would be a honest answer. But obviously, Miss World being Miss World, a good answer would be a bullshit answer like, yeah, I want to be Miss World because, I want to give so much to charity, and make the world a better place and mend the pain and divisiveness of humanity, And in the words of Mother Teresa, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, come on, man, the whole thing is BS, And then the other thing is, I went on the Miss World website, and I think their motto is, let me go back there. I think it's beauty with purpose or something like that. What was that again? Beauty with a purpose. Beauty with a purpose. Sounds beautiful. What's the purpose? Again, BS. There's no purpose there, you know? Yeah, I think it's just sad that things like Miss World, which are vestiges of the 60s and 70s and 80s, are still in existence today. We need to move on. We need to move on, and we need to improve humanity, you know, and educate humanity and take the human race in the next level there, you know. Anyway, that's my take on Miss World. As usual, I hope that, you know, you're going to have a great day today, tomorrow, and that every single day of your life, you're going to strive to get better and better. Cheers.